Hello and welcome everyone. Today is this React webinar. We'll be covering a couple of projects. We'll see if we have time. We'll do the second one also. But I'll be doing one of the projects that for sure. Let me know if you can see my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
So basically, we'll be creating a project like this. Okay. Whenever I'm clicking on this, I have to get a new image and details related to it. Okay, there is an error. Earlier I was solving this, so there is an error. Will solve this problem. Okay, there is something else also I'll be teaching you, that is called shadow lot, which will be using to create select a lot of colors, scaling of colors, different shades of colors, right? So this is also important. I'll tell you later, but let's start it. Okay. So basically what I'm having, so let's do from scratch. So I just have to remove everything that I've done till now so that you can do from scratch. Okay. So let me bring this guy down. So what I will do is, what is there here? Okay, I have to remove everything. So let me remove everything and do everything from scratch. Okay. I have to remove everything else, all the functionality that I've written till now. And while do the project, I'll be explaining the concept also. Okay. Uh, this I don't need. Now everything is from scratch. Okay. Now, first of all, how to create a React application, that you guys know that you can use npx create React app to create the React application. Or if you want to create, using White.js, that also you can do is using npm white at the rate latest, then the React uh, application name. Okay. I have created these using White. You can create both using White as well as, so I'll just show you. So you can write npx create React app at the rate latest. Basically, what is this create React app? It is provided by Facebook and it's a tool basically. Okay. So React tutorial, for example, is my name. But before that, you have to install Node.js, because npx internally uses npm, so it uses Node.js. You have to install. So if you have to work in front end, always install Node.js first, and then you can work on either Angular or React or any other kind of a project. Okay. So this is npx create React app. Using create React app, you can scaffold the application. Basically, when you use this, what happens is that create React app tool will create a application for you. Okay, everything it will create. If you want to create from scratch without using create React app, that also you can do it. But that will be a time-consuming process. So always use create React app. Or one more way you can use is npm byte at the rate latest. Okay, and then the React tutorial. Okay. So why it is white or white, just I'm forgetting, but this is how we create a React application from scratch. Okay. Why? What is the difference between create React and white? White is little faster and it is better. Okay. A lot of other features also white gives, and it is latest. Create React is slower. I mean, any React application you create in create React it is slower. Earlier we were doing it, now we are not doing it. Okay. We are using white. Now, if you are creating an Angular application, you have to install first of all npm install. Just say G globally Angular CLI. Okay, you have to install Angular CLI, because here, like create React app or white, Angular CLI is also a tool provided by Angular team, Angular.io. And after installing this tool, then only you can kind of create an Angular application. After installing this, you can just write ng new Angular tutorial. Okay, this must create, right? How to create a React application, everyone knows this. This is quite simple, and this is through Angular. If you want to create an application, and if you're creating an application using React, if you want to create a React application, you can use these two techniques. If you want to create an Angular application, you can use these two techniques. Okay, simple. Don't let it be there. Okay. Now, after creating applications, so a lot of projects I have been doing it. So I've created a lot of all these projects. I've already done it. So all these projects I've created using Byte. Okay, you can use Byte and create it. Right now. So whatever we want to see right now, that is not there in. So I've removed everything. So it is completely plain right now. We have to create everything from scratch. Okay. Now, what we will do is, first of all, we have to get the data, right? So you saw that there is some person person's job is there, person's qualification is there, and there is some information related to that person is there, right? So if you want to create such kind of data, first of all, what you have to, for such kind of application, first of all, you have to check in React before going to the styling part. You are not doing HTML, CSS, JavaScript project, so no need to focus on the styling. First, what you have to focus on is the application part, the implementation part. Okay. Now the implementation part, for the implementation part, what you need data. Basically, you will call an API, get the data, and show the data in the UI, right? That is what we have to do. So in that case, how to do that? Okay. So I have already, you can do an API call, get the data, but I already have the data, so just use the data. But before using the data, let me show you the data, how it is right now. Okay. So it is simple, an array of objects. So basically, if you create routes in Node, and then you can, write a Node or Java or any backend language, you have to create the routes, create the server, and write all the thread operations, and through that you will get some data. So in Node.js, if you know, then you have to do response.json, send the data, right? And send, you can send the status code according to it. So you'll get basically an array of objects. Okay, because the content type that you will be setting is maybe application/JSON, right? So you get an array of objects here. Now the array of objects will have what? One ID, one name, one job, and the image of the person, and some text. Same object. Okay. Now this is called reviews, and I'm exporting these reviews. If I'm exporting the review, it is a default export. What is the meaning of default export and normal export? Default export means for this file only one export is there. Okay, that is called default export. Okay. Now when I'm exporting default, I have to import it, right? So let me import it so that we can work on it. Okay. Now when I import it, import reviews. If I just click on reviews, it will give you, IntelliSense will fill this up, and it is saying that, okay, you want to import reviews from data. Okay. Now, if I imported it, I should see it also, right? So let me show you whether I can see it or not. Okay. So I'll just do a log, and I'll just write here reviews of 0, so that we'll know that, okay, not 0. So when I save over here, I should see the reviews in the console, right? Let me do right click and let me see whether I'm getting that, so that our import is successful. So before doing anything, just see in console whether you are getting it or not. What happened here? So I'm getting part 1. That means first index I'm getting. That means we are in the right track, right? Hi, Devashish. Now, so I have the data. Now, what is my task is just to show the data, right? So for showing the data, so I have the data now. I just need to show the data. So for showing the data, so suppose let's get the first data itself. So what I'm having, let me go to the data first. Whatever I'm having is, first of all, I'm having this ID, name, job, image. So I'll not extract the ID, name. So we have to write in the proper order. Actually, problem name, job, image, and text, right? So I'll just destructure it: name, job, image, and text equals to reviews of 0, for example. Okay, guys, did you understand this one? What is this? Did you
Yes, sir.
understand
Getting data from
what this is called? This is called destructuring.
data destructuring. Yes, sir.
Okay. So what is destructuring object? This is an object. I have just destructured the object. So what is destructuring? Destructuring means if I would have not done like this, if I would have written, so suppose if I would have written, if I would have displayed this text, I would have written reviews of 0 dot text. I would have written, right? I would have written something like this. Let me give you some example so that we have idea about what is destructure. Reviews of 0 dot text, or maybe dot image, like that I would have written, right? Dot job. Okay, or dot name. So instead of doing that, I just destructure it. Okay, this is called object destructuring. Now there is something called array destructuring also. So suppose if I just create an array, const array equals to maybe some, from string my name I'll write, Punya's name I'll write. Okay. Rudra. This is Devashish, right? So these 4 names I write. Okay. Now how I can destructure array? Can anyone answer? Rudra, can you answer? Devashish, Punya, can you answer? So now if I want to refer to this particular arrays first, for example, first letter, so I'll just write array dot array of 0 I have to write, right? Array of 0 I have to write, right? But instead of doing this, I can do one more way in which I can destructure it. Basically, I don't have to write array of 0, nothing I have to write. So basically, looking at the index, I can destructure it. So suppose I have to write something like this, and I will just write name 1, or I can write my name only. Okay. For example, now if I just, instead of writing array of 0, I can write my name. So it will display my name. Understood? This is an important question. This is very important. Hi, Ipsita. So there is important. This is a very important questions where we are discussing what is array destructuring and what is. So I'm teaching here reactor, but this came into my mind because this is also important to teach because these are all interview questions. Okay. So I thought, do you want to, this is okay, right? If I, explain a little bit on the interview side of things, that is fine, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah. So this is we'll do the project. Don't worry, Ishita. This is okay, right? I'm explaining a little bit on the interview side of things. Okay. So this is restructuring of an array. Okay, and this is restructuring of an object. Okay. Now you might be knowing. So since this topic has come, I'll just explain. So two interview questions we discuss right now. What is restructuring of an object? What is restructuring of an array? Now you know that there is something called swapping of values, right? Suppose someone will say that without using a temporary variable, you have to swap values. Basically, I'm asking bubble sort or insertion sort and all those things are there. In that bubble sort, you have to do the swapping and everything. But using array, how to do it? So suppose someone will ask you, and you don't have taught this, but since this topic has come, so let me, let's teach this. No, two, comma 3 is there. Okay, and I just want to write an array of 2, 4, comma 5. So what I want to do is I just assign, swap the values between two arrays. How to swap the values between two arrays? So you can't write like this, right? If you do like this, basically, if I do array 2 equals to array 1, this will not work. Why? Because this is by reference we are swapping, right? So by reference we are swapping means if I just change array 2 to some value, array 1 will also get swapped, right? I mean the value will change. Correct, right? Am I right? Because these are reference values. Understanding?
Yes, sir.
All for
Yes, sir.
Did you understand, Ipsita, what I'm telling? Okay. Now you can write in the chat also. So basically what I'm saying is this is a reference type. So array and objects are reference type of values, right? And array, so since these are reference type of values, Ipsita, were you saying something? So since this
I'm completely new to this field. Actually, I could not able to get in.
anything. So you are working in which field right now?
No, currently I'm not working. Actually, I have a like IT experience, but I took break due to my kids and all. So I thought to restart again. So
Okay.
I'm in Bhubaneswar. So here I came to know like Java, CSS, and Angular has a good scope.
Okay.
So
Exposure. Okay.
just I start first class of yours only. Before that, I didn't join any class of yours.
Yeah, yeah. It's no problem. Are you understanding little 5%, less than
Yeah,
5?
yeah, yeah. Array and all I know. That's why.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, I'm just discussing some interview questions so that when we go to the project now, it will be easier. Okay. So basically, so how to do this? Basically, how we do this is we just create some kind of a temporary variable and we assign this particular our maybe array 1 over there, and then we just assign this temp, and we were doing like this, right? We were doing in this manner, and array 1 equals to okay, I think array 2. Right? Something like this, right? I think this will be 2. And this can be 1. Okay. Something like this. So we using a temporary variable, we were doing this, right? Now, instead of doing these things, we can do a very interesting thing. So remember this, okay? If someone asks, then you can do something like this. Array 1 of 0, or you can just simply write A comma B here. Okay. Let me write it. Array 1 of 0, comma array 1 of 1, Okay, I will replace this. Equals to, you can just write like this, array 2 of 0, comma, array 2 of 1. Okay, when you do this will work. Just try it. Okay, what this is happening, I'm just without using a temp variable, I'm just swapping it. Obviously you can use this incessant sort and all these things are there, right? Through that we can do it. I'm just telling someone asked swap values without using a temporary variable, you can use directly if it is an array. Okay, so I have a lot of interview question to discuss. Let's go to our topic. So this destructuring will help you a lot, because when you are passing data from props now, it will be helping a lot. Okay, so what I created, okay, I moved everything. Okay, no problem. Okay, so what we are doing is I'll just remove the everything. So I'll just have the name. What else we have? Name, we have job, image, text, right? So name, job, image, and text. So I destructured the values in the array. So these reviews of 0, not array, object. Reviews of 0 is a object, right? Now I can use it and I can show it. So if I want to show this particular value in a React, basically we can use a single parenthesis. In Angular we are using double parenthesis. Now this double parenthesis is called string interpolation in Angular. In React it says that, okay, this is a something you have to extract something out of. You can write a function also inside it. Okay, so suppose I write name here, it is expected that we'll see the name in the so you see the name over here. That means everything's working. Okay, now what you have to do is just we have to show these values based on the indexes of it, right? I've just written here index. So now we can go with structuring of our HTML, so that we know right now that values are coming. So we just need to do the structuring part. Okay, so I've created this container here. Now what I will do is that I will just create a, so here instances is not working. This article I created, and this article will be this container. I'll just give class name. So there is a difference between class and class name. Okay, so in CSS we use class. In Angular also we can use class, but in Java, in React we are using class name. So what is the difference? Can anyone tell me what is the difference between class and class name? Yes, any guesses?
Basically, sir, it's same, but in Java, in React.js, we use class name, and
Why you use?
in simple HTML, we use class.
But why? Everyone knows that, but why you are using?
I
No
don't
idea.
know.
Because class is a, see, in JavaScript, if you see, this is not purely JavaScript. You are writing HTML also inside the JavaScript, right? That means this is a pure JavaScript function. Inside the JavaScript function, you are writing HTML also. What you are returning? You are returning HTML. So this is called JSX. JSX means JavaScript XML extension is what we tell. So how React came into being is Facebook team was working on PHP, and then they wanted something to get immediate update in their UI whenever they do change in the backend, right? So during that process, they created something called XPHP or XHP, something they were creating, okay? And they renamed it as React. Okay, and so they did something like this, that basically if you are writing a JSX, internally what it is getting converted, it is looking like HTML, but it is converted into object. Okay, the meaning of this div and everything is nothing but React is using React dot create element, and inside the element basically it is creating a div. Okay, and it is passing the value. What is the value? I can pass some text in the div, and then it is saying that, okay, I can use one more React dot create element inside, not context, create element. Okay, and inside this div, one article is there, right? So basically there will be article. Then what is there inside the article? The article, some maybe some text is there. I have not written anything, so tag. And then inside that some other. So like this, React create insights. Basically, whatever you are writing here, internally when React is compiling it, it converts this particular HTML to object format. Okay, basically it creates DOM objects. Okay, understanding now. So that means you see something like in HTML, but basically it is converting that to JavaScript. In JavaScript, class is a keyword, right? You can't use class for something else. That's the reason when you are writing class here, it will give an error. Okay, it is said that right now not showing, but it's see class as a string it is showing, right? That means it will not, when you compile this, it will show error that you can't use class in the JSX because it's a it's a reserved keyword. Anirudra now understood, right? Why you can't use class? This is also
Yes,
question.
yes,
The difference between class and class name, and why class name we are using, not class. Okay. Guys, one more thing. Since I'm doing this project, some people questions are coming to my mind, so I thought of discussing this with you all. There is something called reconciliation. Anyone ever of it? What is reconciliation in React? Rudra, you're preparing for interviews, right? Tell me, what is reconciliation?
yes, sir. I know is reconciliation, but something
Forgot.
I'm not recalling it.
Mm. So basically, reconciliation means, okay, my light went away. So reconciliation means how we are rendering our tree-like structure. Okay, that means this DOM tree is there, right? How we are rendering it, how we are rendering in the browser, in the virtual, that is called reconciliation. Basically, okay, I'll just show you. Since we're discussing this, let's discuss that part also. Okay, I'll just open something and then I'll show you. Okay, so basically, when we are writing some divs, guys, if you are not understanding, let me know. Okay, so that I can explain you nicely. Okay, so there is something called virtual DOM. Okay, I was just showing you already Redux. Do you know Redux? Anyone?
Yes. Mm.
Anyone else knows this? What is Redux in React or Angular?
Yes, sir.
You know, right? Yeah. This is what the Redux is. Basically, we have a store, we have a reducer, we have a component. Component will dispatch an action. Action will trigger the reducer to update this particular state. So reducer will mutate the state, and the store will be updated. Then the component will be subscribing. So it will use this uSelector to update the data. So the updated data will show the UI. Okay, this diagram is there, so I thought of explaining it. Okay, so what is this reconciliation? Just let me clear this out. Okay, so this is your app where we are writing about code, right? So this app can have multiple child component, right? Now this child component can have multiple other child component. Right? So I just write here child 1. I write here child 2. And I will write here maybe grandchild 1. And this is grandchild 2. Okay. Now, how when you are writing, so I have written what an app is there. Inside the app, I am having an article inside article something else like this. It is linked. So let me link it nicely. So this is it is linking. Okay. So React, how it updates your UI, I'm just showing you. Okay, the reconciliation process is what I'm showing you. Let me write here reconciliation. Okay, so this is reconciliation. Now I'm explaining you reconciliation. Okay, so what happens is, suppose in the inner child, in the grandchild, some changes happen. Okay, the change will move from this direction to the child to then to the app, and basically any change that happens at any level, other levels which are connected to it will also get to know the change. Okay, and whenever we are changing at particular level, they will know the change, but they will not get rendered. Only that portion that is changing, that will get re-rendered. So suppose the change has happened here, it will re-render here only. Nothing else will get re-rendered. Everyone will know that some changes happen, but re-rendering of the state or of the component will not happen. Okay, that is called reconciliation because there is something called virtual DOM. So can anyone tell what is the difference between real DOM and virtual DOM?
Yes, sir. Basically, virtual DOM is a lightweight copy of real DOM.
Okay, but what happens?
It changes only the particular web value where the changes happens
Okay,
and don't re-render all pages.
okay, but how it is? How it does it?
Mm. Basically, in virtual DOM, it store how the changes is happening,
Hmm.
only sent to the real DOM
Okay.
at that particular thing.
It's sent to the real DOM, then what happens in the real DOM?
And then
Hmm.
the real DOM only apply changes on that particular element, or
Is it? See, what happens, there is something called real DOM, there is something called virtual. Not there is nothing called real DOM, there is something called DOM, there is something called virtual DOM. What is DOM? DOM is document object model. Means whatever you see over here, whatever code I will be writing, if you go to the element section, you will see the HTML, the head, the body is there, right? This is nothing called the DOM. Simple. Okay. So any browser you see that will show the DOM after. So there is something called parsing, HTML parsing. Are you aware of it? What is parsing? Parsing means if you write some HTML, na, what you are writing here, HTML elements you are writing, na, HTML body and all those things you are writing, right? Div and everything. But whenever you are rendering into the browser, what happens is that there is something called HTML parsing happens. Parsing means you see this as element, but this is not element. These are all DOM objects. This is because the browser doesn't understands nothing apart from JavaScript. It understands JavaScript only. Okay, which means that whenever you are writing an HTML element, now it will convert to a DOM object internally. Okay, so this is called the real DOM or the DOM. React, whenever it takes a copy of the real DOM, like how Rudra is saying, it keeps it the copy. That means the real DOM means what? It is taking a copy of that DOM objects, all the nodes. We in the DOM language we call this as this div is a node, this HTML is a node, this HTML head is node. These are all nodes, right? It keeps a copy of the nodes of the DOM, right? And that is called virtual DOM. Now, whenever you change something at any end, that means if I change at the child level, suppose I change at this child level, what happens there? There is a diffing algorithm happens. There is a diffing algorithm. Diffing algorithm is it compares between the previous value and the next and the current value. So if there is a change in the previous value and current value, that means current value is different than the previous value, then only that DOM node will be changing. Okay, in real DOM this doesn't happens. In the real DOM, so let me complete this. So this change happens at the particular level only, here level, in this level only. Suppose the change is happening here, it compares the old value and the new value. In the new value is different than the old value. This at this place it get replaced. The old value is replaced with the new value, so that other portions, other change, and the change will not get impacted at other places. This process is called reconciliation. This is called virtual DOM updating. So this is called reconciliation basically. This is in React. In Angular, there are two different ways. In Angular, there is something called Zone.js. That Zone.js, Ipsita, any doubt? Okay. Now in Angular, there is something called change detection. Okay. In Angular, this process is called, listen carefully. Okay. You might not, anyone experienced in Angular? Does anyone know Angular here?
no,
No, sir.
No one knows. Punya, do you know? No. Ipsita, do you know Angular? Yes, no, no.
No.
No, you don't know, right? Okay. In Angular, there is something called change detection. That change detection, what it will do, it will create a zone around it. Okay. That means there is something called Zone.js that is there internal to Angular. So when you use Zone.js, what it happens is it creates a zone around every component. Okay. Which I'll just write it over here. Okay. Zone.js. Change detection. Okay. Change detection. So, like our reconciliation is there in React, in Angular it is called change detection. And change detection is done through what? Through Zone.js. Zone.js. It's a JavaScript library, okay? This change detection. So in Angular, what happens? Suppose I change here in a grandchild level, in this zone. So change happens means what? What the change means? Some click event you are doing, okay? Or something, okay, my life. Some click event you are doing, or something, some set time what you are doing. Those are so maybe something you are some event is happening because of which some change is happening, right? Any change happens because of an event only, right? So in Angular there is something called event emitter. You do all this stuff, right? So property binding and then event handling, all these things are there. Okay. Now what happens if I change at a particular component level, at a grandchild level, other places within that zone also get updated. That is called change detection. So any set time what I do, any click event I do, if because of that, if something is changing in this level, then this level also it will be detected. And that if it is linked, if it is not linked, it will not. If it is linked only, that this particular thing comes under that zone. Okay, that is how in Angular we do it. Now in the latest Angular version, I think latest version of Angular is 18, I think. In latest version from Angular 16 onwards, they introduced something called Angular signals. Okay, now signal doesn't use change detection. Signals, what they do, they use something like in virtual DOM only, they use a subscription method. That if something has changed in this, then if this particular component is subscribed to it, the change happens it. There is no zone concept in Angular signals. You can use both change detection or signals based on your use case. Okay, I should have taught that, but this we are comparing React and Angular and how happens in Angular and how it happens in React. So I taught it. Okay, change detection, and I just write here something else that is called what I was saying is Angular signals. You can go and Google search. Okay. Okay, so reconciliation, virtual DOM, real DOM, change detection, zone, JSON. Do you know what is shadow DOM? Anyone? Rudra, now you can
No,
tell.
sir.
Devas, you don't know. Ishita, Punya, you know. Rudra, you know what is shadow DOM?
I listen, sir, but I'm not recalling.
Ishita, you know? Have you heard about it?
No.
No, right? So
Mm.
this is also an interview question. What is the difference between real DOM, virtual DOM, shadow DOM? Shadow DOM has nothing to do with real DOM or virtual DOM. It is not related to React or Angular, nothing. Have you heard something called web components? Web components, have you heard anyone? No? See, web components are, so you might know what is a component library, right? Like Angular material is there, material UI is there, and design is there, Bootstrap is there. Bootstrap everyone would have heard, right? So these are called component libraries. Now this component library, they use either Angular or React or Svelte or any other framework or library to get created, like jQuery UI, Angular Grid, all these are component libraries. Okay. Now, if you create a component library using web components are platform agnostic. If I use Angular material component, which means that I have to use that in only Angular applications only. If I'm creating component using and design, I can use that in React application only, because and design is for React. But if you create a component library using web components, okay, it is platform agnostic. That means those components you can use in React or Angular or Svelte, anything, anywhere you can use. In jQuery also you can use it. Understood now? What is web component? Web components are platform agnostic components. You can use something called stencils. If you have, you can just do Google search. Okay, whatever I'm saying, stencil or polymer. Okay, these are all libraries through which you can create web components. Okay, a lot of things I'm teaching. The main thing I'm not teaching, that is the React project, but this came into my mind, so I thought of telling. So stencil, polymer, these are all using web components. Now, what is shadow DOM is? Shadow DOM means that kind of the concept says that okay, if I'm creating web component, then along with the web component there is a shadow DOM attached to it, so that it becomes, so because of the shadow DOM only, a particular component, web component, becomes platform agnostic. Just type what is web component, what is shadow DOM, what is stencil, polymer, you'll get a lot of information. Okay, now let's go back to the project. Clear, right? What is shadow DOM, what is React DOM, what is virtual DOM, what is change detection, what is Angular signals? Okay. Okay. Or what is JSX also? What is the difference between HTML and JSX? What is the difference between HTML elements and JSX elements? What is the difference between HTML elements and React elements? These are all interview questions. Okay. Now, okay. Now let's write the source, and I have to write here what image. What the time now? Okay, time is there. No problem. Okay, so now if I just this is the image, right? This is the image container I've created. So along with the image, now I'll tell a little bit on the project. Let's spend more time on the project now, and then we can discuss later also. Now with the image, so when I save over here right now, I expect that I will see the image. So let me show you whether okay, I can see the image. Okay, we'll do the CSS from scratch. Don't worry, I can see the image right now. Okay, so along with the image, I want to see one quote. Okay, now for the quote is what it's an icon, right? So I can get icons from where? I can get icons from font or some. I can get so many icon libraries are there, right? In and design also is there, so many there. But I'll just tell you one icon library that is called React icons. Now the beauty of React icons is it uses icons from all other libraries, like from font awesome, from and design, from all every library it uses it. It is kind of a repository. You just need to install and use it. Okay. Now I've already installed React icons, but if you want to install it, I'll just write it over here. How to install React icon is simple. npm install React dash icons. That's just it. Simple. This is React icons. Okay. Now, after you install React icons, how to use it is you first need to import the icons, right? So I'll just import the icons. So I'll just write here FA. I didn't need a quote, right? So, but I need a, the greater than and less than kind of buttons also. So I'll just write several right or larger one, FA several left for the left symbol, and then I need a FA quote. Okay, so from React dash icon, I've already installed it, so I don't need anything. Okay, now if I just use this particular icon over here, so let me create a span. Okay, any doubt till now? And I just use the FA quote. Okay, and you'll see that there will be a quote. So let me save everything. It is expected that I used to see a quote. Okay, it is not there because I think I have not imported it correctly. So it is saying that it is not there in. So if I just write a FA quote, so do I see this? Okay, so let's do from scratch. If it is not imported properly, it will not work. FA. So I should see the. Why is it not found? Okay, let's go to React icon. Let's see why this is. Maybe I'm not imported it correctly. React icons. Okay, this is a very good library. Okay, this is correct only. Where the page at? Okay, you see they are using from font awesome, they are using from icons for all the different libraries, bootstrap icons, all the icons are there in this particular. So you just need to use it. You just need to know how to use it. Simple. Okay. So let me go to the GitHub page so that we can use it properly. I might be missing something, no? Documentation. Okay, so I want font awesome icons, right? So font awesome 5 or 6, whatever. If I go over here, what I want is several left, right, right. Yeah, angle left, angle right. So we just need to use it properly. If I use 6, guys, you are understanding right? What I'm doing? Basically, I'm just trying to use these icons. Okay, simple. If I just click over here, okay, then this is how you have to use, right? This is what I'm missing. I have to write here FA, then only it will work. Okay, that is the problem I was doing. So I have to write here because it will say that from where you want to extract. From font awesome, right? From font awesome library, you are extracting this. So FA several right, then FA port, right or left, whatever you want to use. Okay, so now I just want to use this port. So when I save over here, it is expected that I don't need anything else. You just explore this, okay? React icons. It is very good site. You see, I am having this icon, right? I can give a color to this also. Or we can do, okay, let's use some class name. So I just write here port. Image. Okay. Okay, so this is over. And then, so after the image is done, what we need is the job, right? So we need the name, job, and text. So I'll just create, maybe I'll just simply create name, job, and text, and button is there, right? Okay. So let me create the H2. I'll just write here. And in the S2, I'll be having the name. Okay. So for displaying anything, we have to write here like this. Name, then what we need is job, right? Maybe S3, I'll just write here. IntelliSense is not working. So name, job, and text. So for text, we'll just use a paragraph. Text. And we will have a button. So I'll just create a section that is called button container. Button container. Okay. So in this button container, what I have is I need two buttons. So this button is there. So this button will be FA7 left. Okay. And one more will be similarly one button FA7 right. Okay. Now let's save. It is expected that we should see something. Okay. 7 left, one not found. Why? Why did not found? This library they updated multiple times, maybe for that reason. Okay, anyway, let's not waste our time in all these things. What I'll just do is, you see, okay, this was there, right? We wanted to change this. We'll just do a simple trick. Okay, this will be left. I was just thinking of showing you the right. Okay, save. Okay, left, right, simple, our own buttons we created. Okay, now you see something here, but whenever I'm clicking on the button, I have to see the other person's image. It should come, right? So for that, what we have to do is we have to first of all, when I click over here, I just need to change the index, right? So guys, you know what is synthetic events? Previous index. Previous person. Yeah, Rudra, tell me what is synthetic person, a synthetic event? This is also an interview question. What is the difference between JavaScript event and synthetic event? Any idea? Rudra, are you there? So basically, these are two functions we created, right? Event handler. So I'll just do a Control C and Control V. This is previous person. This is next person. Guys, are you able to hear me? Or is there any problem?
No, yes.
No, right. Okay. So basically, I created two event handlers. One is previous person, one is next person. So whenever I click on the previous person button, it should get the previous author, previous data, and then when I click on the next, it should get next, right? So for that, what we have to do is we have to just change this particular index. So right now, I am rendering how I'm rendering. I have taken these reviews of 0. That means for the 0th index only, I am displaying the data, right? But I have to, for every index, that means whenever I'm clicking on the button, our index should change. When I do a previous person, this index should decrease. When I clicking on the next person, the index should increase, right? So how to do it? So you have to create, now comes the concept of hooks. Anyone aware of what is hooks? Anyone ever? What is hooks in
Yes,
React?
sir.
Okay,
Yes,
what
sir.
is hooks in React? Tell me what is hooks in React?
Hooks. Hooks is the one type of a pre-created function that is help you to means that help you to like easy to your work.
But what it helps for?
Means
What it
like
does?
is a pre-made function. It has a pre-made function.
Okay.
It was help you to means anything you put then will get easily the means
Okay.
I understood, sir, but I can't explain.
You are not able to explain. See, in
Yeah.
React, so before React system, we were using class-based components in React. Okay. So in that there was so this is a functional component. So I'm using functional component in React. So after React system, we use functional way of writing React projects. I mean, to create React applications. Okay, that is called functional programming. Do you know what is functional programming? What is in class-based programming, right? Class-based programming is you create classes, you create instance of the classes using constructor and all those things. You are using all this stuff using prototype and all this thing. Prototypal programming was there. Class-based programming was there. After that, the functional programming approach came in JavaScript. Functional programming approach means everything was done functionally. You use something called underscore JS. You could use something called load as. There are a lot of functions in array-based map, filter, find index, every, sum, all these array-based functions came. Then there is something called reactive programming also, where you use reactive X. That means RxJS in Angular was there. You can use RxJS in Node also. You can use RxJS in any JavaScript framework. Like, so there are three different kind of programming. One is class-based prototypal programming. One is functional programming. One is reactive programming. In Java also reactive Java. I think Punya, what is the reactive programming in Java called? I'm forgetting. Java X or Java reactive something is there. They are using, okay, Java folks. That is called, yeah, Punya. What is that called?
It's called, I think it's Java reactive only. There are a lot of different libraries are there.
Yeah. Java reactive is what I am aware of. Yeah. So that is these are all concepts, okay. Functional programming, class-based prototypal programming, and then these reactive programming, all these are concepts. So reactive system onwards, we are using functional programming. That means we are creating functions for creating a component. Earlier we were using class-based. So in class-based React, when we are doing, there is something called state object inside. So this state object was given internally to this class. Okay. Now what the state does is that you can update. So this is a state provided to the component. That means you can store data inside the state only for that component only. Okay. But functional programming, there is no state defined. So basically, if you want to change the state in component, you can directly do a state dot maybe a name equals to some name. I can write here like this. You can write it. When I want to access it, I will write this dot state dot name. I could modify the state. But in functional programming, this thing is not there. In functional programming, you can assign state to a component. That means this is here in this case the app component using the hooks. And what are the different kind of hooks? The hook that provides state to a component that is called useState hook. And the hook that will return the state during multiple rendering is called useEffect. Okay. If the state size is more, that means the state has to be managed in a bigger level state, then you use reducer. Okay. Now, if you want to memoize a particular component, or you want to use the concept, do you know what is memoization? Anyone? No? Yes? No? Okay. There is something called memoization. Memoization means you need to remember it. Okay. I'm just going wayward. But what is memoization means? If you want to remember something. Are you ever what is closure in JavaScript? Yes. Right? What is closure in JavaScript? Basically, let me write here only. So basically, I am having a function. Okay, maybe this function is there, and I want to remember what I want. What I suppose I do return maybe a plus b I'm doing. Okay, so if I want to just do the addition activity, so I'll just pass two numbers here, and I will just a comma b I'll just write. Okay, this is how. But after the execution at line number 9 is over, then no one remembers what is sum, what is ab, right? No one remembers this. So to remember that what is the activity happening even after the, so basically when you call a function, after the function call happens, there is the garbage collector concept that is there in every language. Basically it is a kind of it will remove all the value assigned to these variables, all the variable declaration you have done, that will be removed. But in JavaScript, if you want to retain the particular variables or the concept, or you want JavaScript to remember it, then you have to use something called memoization. You have to use some concept called closure, which is used to remember that particular activity. Now, if I want to remember this, what I will do is that I will just write one more function. Okay, and what I will do is that this return a comma b is now, I'll just move this guy to up. Okay, now what happens is that whenever you are you want to call it, you can call it like this. So this will remember what is A and what is B even after sum is called, na? So basically you have to write like this memo. Okay, now this memo contains the sum, and when I want to call the memo, I can just do the memo like this call. Now this memo function is used for, it is remembering that even after this sum. So basically what I'm doing over here. So I'm calling this sum function, right? Inside that one more function is there, and I'm calling that function through this, right? This is the concept of memoization. So in React, there is something called React memo. Now someone will tell me, anyone knows what is React memo now? Yeah, any idea? This memo will remember the component, or wherever basically we are using in a component only. This will remember the component, that whatever the activity that is happening in the component, and if you don't need to call that component function again, you have to use memo so that it will remember it. Okay, this is memo. Then there is something called use memo also in React. There are other hooks which not related to React explicitly, but there is use dispatch, which is related to Redux. Use dispatch is there. Use selector is there. Okay, use context is there. This is used in context API. Then there is use transition is there. Okay, these are all provided within the React and the React world. Okay, but you can create your own custom hook also. Okay, you can create your own custom hook. So I'll just add use some. I can create it. What will that will do? I'll just take a hook and I'll keep that hook in a separate JavaScript file, and I'll export that hook through my own name. Simple. That is a custom hook. So guys, you know now difference between hook and custom hook right now. What is a hook? What is a custom hook? What is the use of hook? Hook is generally used for managing a state, providing the state and managing the state. Okay, as simple as that. Okay, now we'll not study all these things. Just since we are discussing hooks, I thought of telling these things. Okay, now we need a hook to store the index value. Why we need a hook to store the index value? Because by default, React, when it renders, re-renders. So initial rendering is when this functional component, when this component is seen in the browser, that is initial rendering. But whenever we have a event handling, see, there is an event that I'm calling, right? On click, okay, no one answered what is a synthetic event. Do you know what is a synthetic event? Yes, no, no? Rudra, Devasis?
No, sir.
Do you know what is a event? JavaScript event? This is an event. That click
Yes,
is
sir, event.
click event. Click is an event, right?
Click event on.
Change is a event. Change
Yes, sir.
is a event. Click is an event. Change is an event. Mouse over is an event. Mouse down is an event, right? Mouse
Yes.
toggle is an event. These are all events. Now in Angular, you write it in this manner. You cover in parentheses and you write in this manner in Angular. Okay? In Angular, we write like this. In React, we use synthetic events. Synthetic events means the same click event is there, But as you see, in Angular you use click, but in JavaScript you use on click like this. So it will not be a camel case. It will be in this manner. Okay, it will not be a camel case. This is JavaScript event. That is the reason it is not showing error, because it's a JavaScript event. But in React, I am using camel case. This is a synthetic event. So what is the difference between a normal event and a synthetic event? Synthetic events are events which are created by React. Internally, it uses the same JavaScript event without a camel case. What it does is that when you go to different browser, the event might perform differently. But we don't want that to happen, right? So reacting, what they did, they took every event and then create a wrapper around that event so that the event behaves exactly the same in every browser. Okay, synthetic events are normal events, but a wrapper around it so that the behavior of every event in every browser remains the same. Understood? What is the difference between event and synthetic event? Okay. Now, so this is a two event handler I've created. Now I'll just create a hook. Okay. So now this hook name is index. So the so basically this will be a use state. Now you see I'm here using what? Array registry. Okay, and I'm using use state to store this particular state. Okay, state of the application, not kind of state of the application, which is represented by this index. This index refers to the state, and the set index will modify this index. Okay, because initially I'm having the index as 0. Okay, initially I'm having, so here I have to write it as 0 so that that is the initial state. Okay, but so now if you save over here, it should work. It should show no problem with the rendering part because initially I've written a 0. But whenever I'm clicking over here, so the state should change. Now how the state should change? I just write a set index as so I can change using set index. So if I just write the set index is 1, or if I write index plus plus, so what it will do is it has to modify the index, right? So that means, let me close this. So that means whenever I'm clicking on this button, it should change the index. Is it changing? It is not changing. Why it is not changing? Because we can't write like this. Okay, index is a constant. I've written here index as a constant. I can't modify the index. That is really not working. But we need to do it, right? We need to change the index. We need to increase the index or decrease the index. Decrease the index in this part, right? I have to write here index minus minus instead of plus plus. So how to do it? To do it, we have to pass a function. Now, there is so many different ways in which I can modify the index. One is the direct approach, right? I can write here true, false, 0, 1, 2, or like this. So I can write here 2. If I just write here 2, it will show the second index whenever I'm clicking it. Whenever I'm clicking it, it should show the second index, but it is not working because we can't directly, if I doing, why it is not doing? Because the update of the state is not synchronous. That means whenever I'm click, immediately will not happen. Okay, let me show if there is some error happening. This is the console. If I just click, there shouldn't be any error happening. Okay, so let me see if it is working or not. Let me do a log. Okay, so I'll just write here index minus minus. So, or I'll just write here 2 only, right? So that I see it whenever I'm clicking over here. So when I, okay, this is a previous, right? When I click over here, actually 2. Okay, now you see the value change, right? So it came to index number 2, right? But every time I click, it will show the index number 2 only, right? What I want is whenever I'm clicking over here, the index should change it, decrease, right? So how to do that? So to do that, I have to modify this particular state, right? This index. So to do that, how I have to do it? I'll just show you. Is we have to pass a function. Same memoization concept. And this function will return a new state. Okay, which means that it will take the original state. Okay, original state. And we are saying that, okay, I have to return a new state. So I'll just return original state minus 1, right? I am returning a new state. So I took the original state and subtracted 1 out of it, and I'm returning a new state. which means that if I'm there at number 2, I have to see the number 1. Okay, and the same can be done in the next person also. But let me see whether this is working first or not. Okay, so now Peter Jones is there. When I click back, I should see Anna Johnson. Yeah, it is working. When I click back, I am seeing Susan Smith. So it is working. Now when I click back, it will cause an error. Why? Because now the state is -1. I don't have anything in -1, right? I am having only 4 values, 0, 1, 2, 3. I don't have any index like -1. So that's the reason it is saying that I can't destructure name of this, which means that it now the index value is -1. So it can't destructure this particular name, job, image, text, or reviews of -1. Nothing is there. Okay, that's the reason it is not able to destructure. So we'll solve that part. But this much you understood, right? What is happening? Basically, I took the original state and I returned a new state. So using this functional approach, I did it. So whenever you want to update it immediately, so are you guys ever how to update a state immediately? This is how to update state immediately. So if someone asks how to update a particular state immediately, then this is the answer. Okay, this is the answer if you want to update the state of a component immediately. Now, if you want to update a state of a particular, so suppose there is a big form. I am name, age, password, and all these things are there, right? Suppose employee is there. So employee is an employee or not, true or false, some radio button is there. I want to update only that particular checkbox or particular radio button or particular text. In that case, how to do is I have to pass in an object format. So in this case, so let me just give an example. So maybe there is a form, okay, employee form. Okay, and I want to update it. So I'll just set the employee form. Through this, I have to update it. Right now, I'll just write here use state, and when I'm initializing it, I have to use an object format. So in that object, what will be having some name will be there, and then the value will be their name. Okay, so since both are same, I can write your name only directly, or age will be there. Maybe something will be there. ID will be there. Some maybe is employee, some radio button is there, right? Like this, it is there. Now, if I want to update this particular object, this form's value only age, if I have to update, then how I have to update is something like this. I have to write. I have to write set employee form. Okay, and here I have to do something like this. If I have to do it immediately, I have to do same manner, right? So previous state, okay, then I have to do a arrow function, and I have to write in this function because I don't want to return anything, or if you want to just return, just write return. Okay, then this is an object, right? Because I've given an object only. So since this is an object initial state, I have to write an object initial state. I have to do dot dot dot. I have to write here previous state, then comma, then I have to write here age, that is the property name, and the value will be some different value. Instead of 45, I can write 23. So like this, is it not getting closed? Okay, one more is missing. Okay, so it is not able to return, right? Okay, maybe I'm written like this. So basically, we have to write in this manner. Okay, so that will take the internal. Okay, one thing is missing. Yeah, this is how we update a particular field of a form in this manner. This one understood? Yes, Rudra, Devasish, Punya.
Yes.
Understood, right? So this is the object form of updating a state. This is a functional form of updating the state. Okay, and there is obviously the direct form that I said set index as true, false, whatever. That is the direct form of updating a state. But you don't never use this technique. Why? Because it will cause a lot of problem. So obviously, what you have to do is for every form element, give a different state, or you use Redux. Is the best way in which you can manage a form. Any model form if you are having, best use cases use Redux. Okay. You don't need all these things, but to explain what is hooks and how to update it, I am just teaching. Devasis, are you working or you are, you're a student or you are looking for a job? What is the scenario?
Sir, I am not working, sir. I am working on Bhubaneswar, sir, right now.
But you are working where? Any IT or
I am working on non-IT, sir.
non-IT? And you
Looking
are
for IT. Yes, sir.
You're giving interviews? Have you given interviews?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So this is what we have to do it right now in the next also, right?
Okay, sir.
Just paste this guy. So instead of the original state -1, I have to put the original state +1. Okay. Now in the next, what we have to do is when I click on this guy, so our new one is coming. So now it has crossed the length of that array, so it doesn't understand what is what is the reviews of 4, because till 0, 1, 2, 3 was there, right? So it doesn't understand, so it is causing this error. Okay, which we have to resolve it. And how to resolve it? We can resolve it by doing something like this, that if original state is, so this is previous person, right, less than 0. If it is less than 0, then what I want to do is, so if it is less than 0, you can go to the we can show last, right? So if something is less than 0, it can go to back, or something is greater than 3, I can show 0 again, right? So I can just write here reviews dot length gth -1. That should be the index, right? And here I'll just write here, if original state is greater than reviews dot length, okay, -1, right? If it is greater than, so then what I have to do is that I just need to return what? 0, right? Let's see if it is working, finger crossed. So what we will do is, now let me close this guy. If I click on this button, if it crosses 3, it should go to 0 again. Okay, so this is 0, Susan Smith. I click 1, 2, 3, and 4th should be 0. It is not working. In that case, we have made some mistake. Okay, what mistake we did? Original state will be 3, right? So then after 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 is greater than 3, that is true. Then I'm returning the 0. This is correct only. Why it is not working? Anyway, not a problem, but we understood that the problem statement, right? So now this project is completed. We'll just move to the CSS portion. Okay, so CSS, lot of things we can do. I mean, obviously this should work, which we can make it work, not a problem. This is a simple thing. But if I just click on the background, it's not here also, it is not working. Okay, anyway, we can solve this. Not a big thing for us. Only thing is that the proper conditions should work. But let's move to the CSS portion, because that will take a little time. Okay, so what we are having right now is in the app.js. So let's go to the index.css part, so that we can cover everything. So I've written so many things. We just need to remove everything and do something from beginning. Okay, so that we understand everything nicely. Okay, so let me save over here. Let's see how it is looking right now. So when I save over here, it is looking this manner, right? Okay, let it get compiled. Now, what is there in the HTML portion? First of all, there is a container, so it will look so bad. Okay, this image has become larger and all these things are there, right? So we have to write the container first, right? So let me write the container. Okay, so the container will have what? It will contain everything, right? So inside the container, what the structure? So inside the container, I'm having this article, which is nothing but the image container, and this particular section is there, which has it. But simply, so I have to create a container for the entire application in that case, right? So for that, I'll just use display as flex. So when I save over here, the image is very large, but in a horizontal manner, it will be arranged all other stuff, right? So I'll just do a flex direction of column. Simple. So now in the column fashion, everything will be there below where it is. Yeah, can't see it. Yeah, it is there below, like always, right? Now I'll just arrange it vertically. So align items, center, justify context as center. Okay. Now when I save over here, everything came to the center. Okay. Now what I can do is I just need to have some space between there should be space in the left side and the right side, right? So I just keep margin top. I don't want anything, and in the left, right, I'll just give an auto, and I just want to give some width of 90 VH, VW, view width. Now what this will do is it will create a gap between this. You see, 90% it took the width, okay, till here, from here to here, and then rest of the things is automatically arranged. Okay. Now next what I can do is I can just give a shadow. So I just give a box shadow. Okay. I'm having a shadow function. Shadow I've just already created. Maybe dark shadow I'll give. Okay. When I save over here, I want to see this shadow, right? This shadow I saw. Okay, nicely this shadow is there. Next, what I want some padding, right? So padding will be 8 pixel from the top and bottom and 16 pixel on the left, right. So now when you see there is some gap here and here, so nicely it is arranged. Now the image we can manage nicely. We'll do it later, but this is how the container should be, right? Now next is the image container. So the image container also we have to give something. Okay. Dot image. Is this correct styling? Image container, right? So I just write an image container. Now for the image container, we are using this particular image. So I'll just write here display as flex. Okay. So let me see how it looks right now. So if I write display flex, this quote and this quote here, yeah, quote, and this is on the left side, right side. That is correct. We don't need anything else. So if there is an image, okay. So for this image, what I will do is I just need to decrease the size, right? I'll just write here width as kind of 500 will be good. So it will decrease the size. Okay, why it is not taking IMG? You have to write IMG, not image. You have to write IMG as the element, right? So size should decrease by width, and height also the same height. I just want to keep 500 pixels. Okay, and I can just do max width of maybe 90 VH, so that VW, so that whatever width it has, only 90% of the width it takes. Okay, and I don't need 200 is the width. We can give it some percentage, maybe 50%, 50%. Let's give 50%. And this should also be 50%. When I save over here, the size will be less. And then what I can give is border radius. I'll give 50%. Okay. So what we'll do, it will make it rounded. Okay. Now I have to bring this guy to the center, right? So in this case, I'll just write here justify content. Center. So when I say over here, it should come to the center. Right? Now this is looking very good, but this is okay. No problem. Okay. I can decrease further also. So maybe 70%, not 70%. Let me do 30%. And this can be 30%. Smaller will be there. Okay. Now, next is what we want is everything is looking perfect. Let's change only the button part so that it look little good. Okay. So this button container is there, right? So let's go and style the button container. So dot btn. This button container is there. So button container will be display flex. Okay, let's save this guy. And then what I want is a little bit of a space, justify content, space between. So when I give space between, it will take, I think, the entire space. Let's see how it looks. Why it is not working? btn container only. Okay. btn container is correct. btn container. btn container should work. Okay. What are the available width this guy has? Let's see if it is there or not first of all. This class is getting implemented or not? Yeah, it is working. Okay. Anyway, so I just need to create some gap between them so that there is a gap of maybe 8 pixels. Okay. Now there is a gap. Okay. Now we can work on the button part. So I'll just write here button. This button, I first of all, I don't want the border to be transparent. Okay. Now, what else I need is I just need to go with margin, no padding. Yeah, padding width is what we need. Padding is maybe 16 pixel over 1. So, and then top, I don't want anything. Okay, so there should be some gap. Okay, let's give 8 pixel at the top also, so that it be a little larger and go. Okay. And this precision width, that is fine. Width is okay. Then we can go with the font size. On the font size part, maybe 18 pixel, right? Little larger. And font weight should be bold, more bold. Okay. And now color we should give, right? So background color will be where, let's primary one, if I just keep. Okay. And the color should be where white, right? Okay. Now there should be some border rounding should be there. Border radius is something around 5 pixel. Okay. So now it is looking good. Okay, so size of the image is triggering it to moving to the. Okay, now this error is there that we know. 2, 3, 4, right? So it is okay. It's looking good only. So I think we have completed the project. Guys, you understood everything, right? How we did it, and what is the styling, what is React, and how is Redux working, all the stuff, right? Any doubt? Everything clear? Anything you want to know further? Because the project is done. Are you there? Punya and Rudra?
Yes, sir, I'm here. I have to revise the things or the all things again.
Punya
So-
understood? Rudra understood? Both of you understood, right?
Yes, sir, understood, but we have to revise again.
Revise, right? Revise. Okay. Anyway, so if you want to prepare for interviews, you can join my interpretation membership. You want to learn React, Redux, Node, and everything, you can join my silver membership. If you want to do only project, you can go to my gold membership and join. So where I do only projects like this. Like this only project we are doing, and all the classes are only in weekends. It'll be easier. Either interview preparation membership or silver membership or gold membership. There is also a diamond membership, but it is a very high level. Basically, that is for when you join the organization, you need a lot of other stuff also, like system design is there, DSA is there, design patterns in React and Angular is there. A lot of other stuff are there, very, very high level. Okay. For leader, for senior developers, we need all those stuff, architect people, all this stuff. Okay. So it's up to you if you want to join, or if you want to continue with the free webinars and everything. There also, here also you can learn. Okay. You can learn from my YouTube channel also. Okay, if nothing is there, we can wind up. So give a good rating for me. So I'm not getting any Trustpilot rating. I'll just post the Trustpilot link. Just give me a good rating. Okay. Anything else you want to discuss other than this? Anything you want to ask? Any guidance, any roadmap, anything else?
Currently not. Currently not, sir.
No, right? Okay, fine. Chalo, bye bye. Take care. All the best.